G'day folks, and welcome to part 3 of my 100 reasons to visit the Solomon Islands. This top 10 is devoted to some of the stranger critters you're likely to come across on a 10-day trip. So coming in at 21, the anemone-like large burrowing sea cucumber, Mycenium magnum. The body of this cuc is buried with just its feeding tentacles extended out into the water column. They use tiny sticky tube feet to grab anything edible and pass them one tentacle at a time to the mouth where they slurp off the goodies. At 22, the oxheart ascidian, Polycarpa aurata, is a filter feeder that sucks in tiny plants called phytoplankton and even bacteria out of the water. Their main predators are nudibranchs like this guy, the dusky nembrotha. Number 23 is the vermeted snail Thylacodes grandis, also called the grand worm snail. They're a snail that goes nowhere and make a tube out of calcium carbonate just like corals. They secrete a mucus net which catches detritus and tiny critters that make up marine snow. They suck in the net at regular intervals and slurp off their catch. At number 24, the iridescent scallop, Pedum spondyloideum. It's a beautiful clam that lives by boring into hard corals which grow around them and keeps their bodies protected. They are filter feeders which might also increase water flow to the corals. Also, by squirting water out at predators, they keep the crown of thorns starfish moving, which has been shown to discourage them from feeding on the coral during crown of thorns outbreaks. Number 25 is xenia coral. They can absorb dissolved matter but rely mostly on photosynthetic zooxanthellae for their nutrition. Why they pulse is up for debate. Closest relatives don't do it. Maybe it's a light thing, too much or not enough, but why do they do it at night? Quite a mystery. 26 is the dusky garden eel Heteroconga enigmaticus. This is one strange group of fish that turn barren, sandy slopes into gardens of eels. They stay mostly buried down their own burrows, but stick their heads out and just as much body as they need to catch passing zooplankton, tiny animals riding the current. Number 27 is the shark sucker, or remora. They normally suck onto sharks, rays and turtles and hitch a ride. In the Solomons, they like divers too. This cheeky bugger was trying to get up the leg of my wetsuit. At the Manta Highway, you can watch juvenile remoras riding the bow wave ahead of the cruising mantas. Number 28 is probably the strangest fish in the Solomons, the convict blenny. It's not even similar to a blenny, of course. The juveniles look normal enough, mimicking the venomous striped catfish juveniles as they do. But what's weird about these guys is that the juveniles school in blue water where they feed on plankton, then at dusk return to their mum's burrow where they hang from the ceiling from mucus threads. The adults never leave to feed. Instead, they take in mouthfuls of juveniles and spit them out again, and somehow get the nutrients that way. Number 29 is the banded pipefish Dunkeracanthus dactyliophorus, which is common in dark places like caverns and overhangs. They hover or free swim unlike their cousins, which usually crawl on the bottom, and they often hang out with urchins for extra safety. At number 30, the fluorescent corals of the genus Mycenium, which are among the most beautifully coloured plating corals. This genus does well in low light conditions like you find on the deeper Solomon Island wrecks. Their ability to take in the longer wavelengths of light and emit them as greens and reds probably attracts plankton for them to eat. They make for spectacular macro backgrounds and usually have gobies and triple fins living on them. Stay tuned for 10 cool crustaceans coming next. My 100 reasons to visit the Solomon Islands.